The idea for the WiCi Awards was born from a desire to honor everyone who's doing amazing things in the larger communications field. So I'm incredibly excited to welcome this wonderful group of women.
Thank you all for getting up early and coming downtown. This is really fun, and I totally stacked the deck with my crew on the left side of the room here, so thank you to my crew. You know, when you figure out what you stand for and how you surround yourself with colleagues and clients that echo that back to you, I think that's a very powerful thing. And you know, just because we're in the midst of a digital tsunami doesn't mean that like simple manners and how I want to live my life with grace and be around people that are energy giving instead of energy taking. And I'm not saying that that's a nirvana that we're all a part of, but that's how I want to live my life. And if it means I have a smaller company, if it means I have a smaller paycheck, if it means I feel very rich in many ways because I feel like I get to decide, that's the reason, right? I mean, nobody wants to work this hard and feel like hell at the end of the day, right?
When I look back, I'm 37 and I've had an extraordinary ride, and I'm like, oh my God, how did this even happen? A lot of it, I have to say, has been just by putting good energy and being the best person that I can, but to also Jolie's point in terms of our accomplishments, how do you bring people along and how do you support? And so much of that has come from my being a survivor and understanding, you know, the challenges that come from these very, I don't know, it was one of those, it's a horrible experience, but I can't regret it. I'm not glad that it happened to me, but I wouldn't be the person that I am if I didn't have that experience. And so, you know, when I was making decisions with my career, one of the things, and to one of your earlier questions, you know, coming out of college, you want the sexiest job. I had, you know, started to work in women's rights, and working on the program end of any nonprofit is the hardest, right? Those are the sexy jobs. And I had decided that what I wanted to focus on was women's rights issues, but I'll take any job within that organization. And I'm a really good salesperson, so I ended up in fundraising. And I did a lot of fundraising in my 20s, which is definitely not a sexy job. You know, now it's been professionalized, but for many years it was sort of, those are the people that throw the party over there, sort of dismissal. And so, you know, it has just served me really well because I built out a skill set that has proved powerful in a lot of different settings, but one thing that I was always consistent on was working on women's rights issues, and that comes from just watching my mom just be an incredible hero and survivor and seeing, you know, what the reality is behind the scenes and just trying to figure out how to create opportunities.
And I think it's fashion, media, and film's moral and social responsibility to reflect women back to themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we've seen so much like excitement about what we've been doing. Because I get, like, I've gotten tens of thousands of emails now, but I get, you know, a bunch every single day saying thank you so much. I've never seen myself reflected in media. I've never seen myself reflected on the runway. I feel included. I feel beautiful for the first time ever. And I'm an emerging small designer. If like large designers and large magazines did this, it would really change the way people and women felt about themselves. And there's so much research and so many studies. Doug did some amazing research that said only 4% of women self-identify themselves as beautiful. Mm-hmm. And what that really means is when you don't feel beautiful, and we all know this, we have a crummy day, feel like crap, we're not really like putting ourselves out there, you know? So if we could all feel beautiful, like we'd be in our jobs, we'd be in our lives, we'd be really, you know, putting ourselves out there 100%. So this isn't like a fun fashion show. Like this is a big deal. So I'm excited, and I feel like we're there with role models, not runway models. Like I want to be in every fashion week tomorrow, but we'll do it. but I want the fashion industry to join me faster.
And I was actually fired from Glamour magazine, where I now work. So I started at Glamour in I think like 2006, 2007, I always forget. And then the same thing that happened to the entire industry happened at Glamour, and we had a little news department, and that news department went away. And it was for me a deep personal loss because I had this, because the Genevieve and Glamour and Genevieve, for me, they were like pretty deeply intertwined. And I thought, okay, this is my last job in magazines because I've met myself as like this person who cares about the world, and I'm gonna go work for an NGO. And then less than 24 hours later, the other thing is that you're super popular when you get laid off. And I did not realize that, but you think your phone is never gonna ring again, and then it does, a lot. But you really learn about, like, that separation between Glamour and Genevieve was like a little bit too tight. And what I had to learn was like, who as a thinker and as a worker am I?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do I have to offer? As opposed to being, because when you call from Glamour or when you call from GE, or like, people pick up the phone. But I wanted people to pick up the phone because it was me calling, right? And that helped.
I think you have to be inventive. Like, people are excited about trying new things. There's like, who thought that there was going to be virtual reality at a company like GE? Everyone wants to do storytelling, but I think that, you know, for young people today, like, so much of the world has changed. Like, there aren't jobs that you're going to hold on to for 5 or 7 years. Like, the fact that I was at a publication for 7 years is the longest job of any of my friends. Like, nobody's worked anywhere that long. So it's like you hop around, you make things up as you go along. Like, I think there's a certain amount of innovation that has to come with it, and you just have to not be afraid to try things and pitch things. Like, I pitched Tumblr out of the blue. I pitched Sheryl Sandberg out of the blue. And both said yes.
Don't be afraid to fail, right?
My advice is have a strong support system, both personal and professional, and always be educating yourself, always be learning, whether it's signing up for programs or reading. And you know, a little therapy never hurt anyone.
There you go. Okay, so we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna change the game show. And it's called a Wiki Minute. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna see how many questions you guys can answer in 1 minute, right? Now, full disclosure, Gloria Steinem has done this and she got 16. Okay, so 16. Now, I was gonna do this individually with each of you, but I think you guys have all bonded and we're a team, right? So we're gonna go rapid fire down the line and we're gonna see how many questions you guys can answer in a minute. So if you stutter a little, you're holding back your team, all right? So don't worry about the advice I give to all of you is, it doesn't have to be the perfect answer. I think one of you, you know, it just, what was your advice? You had great advice that I was reading about you that we didn't get to, but you don't have to, you want to be on time. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's better to be, what is that?
Yeah, good and on time is better than late and perfect.
Okay, that's the motto for the game show, Wiki Minute, okay? So, all right, ready? All right, wait, no, I'm not ready. Okay, ready? You say on your marks, get set.
On your marks, get set, go.
Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Text or email?
Text.
Favorite movie?
Fifth Element.
Female historical figure you'd like to have dinner with?
Gloria Steinem.
Language you wish you could speak?
French.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
If you woke up one morning as a member of the opposite sex, what was the first thing you'd do?
Touch myself.
Okay, favorite song?
Rebel girl.
Golden Girls or Girls?
Girls.
Which would you rather give up for a year, sunlight or Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Biggest vice?
Smoking.
If you could give yourself, 15-year-old self, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Call them back.
Oh, good. Favorite book?
Cleopatra.
Favorite room in your house? Oh, we know, easy.
I only have one room.
Coffee or tea? Name a female who has had the greatest impact on your life.
Mom.
A